I love you, Poppy.
Damn, Jacob, this shit crack.
I'm so gone. Hey yo.
Welcome to CJ's Lyfe Show.
My name is Jezreel.
I'm Cody, and this is...
And I'm Perswasian.
Okay.
We said we had a special guest for episode 3, and then this is her, Perswasian. If you don't know her on Spotify, this is actually my sister. I'm the better looking sibling.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm the adopted one.
You.
Jez is a family friend, so we all have grown up together.
Yes.
So this is a special interview. That's for damn sure. Okay, so Jez, today for our
Show and tell.
show and tell. What is that?
It's gonna be a quick show and tell. So today I have I don't want to pick it up. It's a little far, but it's a lotus.
get it.
Oh, you want to get
Yeah, I
it?
can get
Thanks,
it.
bro.
Oh damn! It actually has some weight to it.
It's a lotus flower, and it's from Vancouver actually. Oh no, Alberta.
Smell it?
It was in a trip. I went last year. I keep it near my desk for symbolic reasons. I love lotus flowers, and just have it in my desk for kind of a reminder where I went last year and how much of fun I had. Small little sentimental gift I got.
Cool.
That looks nice, yeah.
Jeez. Brittany, you went on vacation this 5 days. Did
I went
you
on
bring anything back?
a little chill. Yeah, it was. I didn't get anything back though. Still,
You brought a hangover back?
I brought a hangover back, low key. Yeah.
Really?
But no, it was fun. I had some time, hang out with my friends, got a little break, from working and stuff on my music and shit. And yeah, it was fun.
All
All right, some R&R from your writing or whatnot.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so now it's time to open
Or bubblies.
the bubblies.
Yes.
I'm gonna open hers because she has nails. So
Yeah,
here we
I
go. So
can't
I'm
do
gonna
it
have you hold the
still.
mic.
And she's a Pepsi girl too.
I'm a Pepsi
She's a
girl.
Pepsi head, but we have a table full of Pepsi products. So
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, yo. Remember that?
not sponsored.
No.
Ready?
Okay, you ready?
Oh, you're gonna do two-handed. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, 3,
2, 1.
You're getting
Nice.
closer every time.
We're getting
We're
there.
getting there, man.
We got bubblies again.
This is my mic.
Yeah. So I went to Costco the other day. I got a 24-pack assorted. Cody definitely missed your bubblies, right? You
Yeah.
didn't like the other one too much.
Last episode we had San Pellegrino.
Yeah.
It's a little bougie for me.
Yeah.
And Brittany, you don't feel the bubblies, do you?
Not feeling it,
You're
but
not feeling it?
it's okay. It's alright.
These youths like the sugar.
These youths.
They like the goddamn sugar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I like sugar, so I can't even lie. So
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. So I just will hop into this episode. From when you were young, Brittany, which is her name, but for now I shall
Exposed.
address my sister
As
as Perswasian.
Persuasion.
So there's a
You
little
should.
Easter egg. If someone really did watch this episode, they will know her real name.
Okay.
yeah.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
No, it is. My actual name is Brittany, and you actually named me that.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Really?
you know why? Because that's what my dad told me. He likes Britney Spears. So when I was younger, that's what he wanted to name me when I was I was born.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's true. Actually, the true story is when I was the only child, and I kept seeing people with siblings, and I was like, wow, I want to have a little sibling of some sort. And I specifically wanted a sister. And sadly, my parents, they had like a little, they tried, and there was a little bit of a
They're like
unfortunate thing that happened in between.
Because like she's older and stuff.
Yeah, she had a
And they didn't know.
miscarriage the first time, but then
Oh, okay.
I was like, I really want a sister really badly. And literally my mom was like, just pray and like hope every night. So literally for a whole year, I like prayed.
Manifested.
And I was manifesting like a sister. So when my mom got pregnant and she was pretty far along, she's like, you get to choose the name. And I'm obviously like 6.
Without him, I wouldn't even actually really be here because my brother, when he was little, say 7 or 6, and for Christmas, he wished for a little sister, and my mom and my dad said, okay, they'll try. Then Cody went to church every Sunday for a little sister, and before you knew, my mom was pregnant with a girl, and that girl was me. So no matter what happens, the feuds and the fights, me and my brother will never let that get between our brother and sister relationship. So I want to thank everybody for coming, my relatives, to my brother's birthday party, and wow, he has a lot of friends. So I just want to say happy birthday to my Cody, and I love you so, so very much.
Oh, I love you too, so very, very much.
And at this point, like Britney Spears is at the height, and I'm like, I think I'll name her Britney.
Yeah.
And then it ended up sticking.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then Britney was born July 25th, 2002.
It's coming up.
Yeah, 26 days until my
Yeah.
B-Day.
Oh my
Big
God,
19.
the big 19. That's
Big 19.
so
Yes,
weird,
sir.
man.
Like Cody said, I started with them. Like I known Cody since he was 14. I was like 10, and I remember Brittany being a little munchkin. So she was like around 4 years old. We went to elementary school together. My parents needed a babysitter, so Cody's mom, Brittany's mom, took care of me in the mornings and after school. And I remember going to elementary. And a lot of time we spent after school, like hanging out or playing games.
I think I was 12 when I first met you.
12
or 13
Yeah,
or
you're
something.
something like that. but,
Something like at the end of grade school days.
yeah. Plus
something like
plus
that.
10 year of knowing you guys. So
Knowing, yeah.
and here we are.
It's been a minute. We've
Yeah.
known
Here
Jez
we
a
are.
long time.
For real.
And yeah, I mean, when Brittany was younger, we used to like mess around with her so
Yeah,
much.
no.
Oh my God.
You guys
What was
tell me
that
all the
game
time.
we
Oh, yeah,
used to
this-
play a lot?
I'm not
with
sure you
her?
remember this game, Brittany. Do you?
I don't-
What'd
What,
you do?
what was it? What was it?
So let's see if this rings any bells for you. So when you were younger, we used to remember when we had the basketball court out in the backyard.
Yeah. I
At
remember
like
that.
the one on Danforth there.
Yeah.
So we used to make you do a bunch of stuff because there was a show called
Pros versus Joes.
yeah.
Yep.
So basically, we just made you do a bunch of crap, like do circles, then make you do like an obstacle course, shoot a basket, and would time you.
I was just doing that.
You're just
though.
doing that.
I was just doing that.
You don't remember that?
I was wilding out.
Yeah, we're like
Yeah.
we get you dizzy, then we make you do a bunch of specific like
That's funny.
stuff like
Yeah.
drills and see how fast you could do it.
She was like our
Wow.
little
Guinea
hamster.
pig. It's a guinea
Stop.
pig, guinea pig.
hamster.
I bet you guys did do that still.
You
Yeah.
enjoyed it like as a kid. It
I
was
might
funny.
when I was younger. I was just like full of energy when I was a kid. So whenever you guys told me to do something, I was just down. I was just about whatever.
You're actually a
'Cause I
crack.
was just I was a little bit of a crack.
And what's your energy level now?
Yeah.
What do you
I'm
think?
still I'm chill. I just be chill, but I'm
Yeah.
like I have always had that energy. Always.
Good.
Mhm.
That's good.
Right, yeah, she's pretty high energy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So am I, too as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, we're all high. Oh, me and Bernie are high energy. I guess
Yeah.
like our parents gave us all the energy because they're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
older now.
Or probably our mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had the
'Cause she's
energy
like-
for sure.
Yeah.
I was meaning to ask you: is there anything from your childhood, Brittany, like when you were younger? I always wondered: is there anything that stuck out to you at all, like that you remember? Like you're like, wow, these guys were assholes for this.
Okay,
or, like
like-
these guys were.
I
Yeah.
remember you guys doing like a bunch of shit, but maybe I remember like maybe it was something like had to do with being scared or something. Like you guys scared me or something that like it probably traumatized me for like freaking couple years.
Will you call your names
I
or
don't know.
something?
Maybe
or-
something else. Maybe I was like in the room and I was just chilling and like you guys like said something or like we were like it was like when you're babysitting me and you probably tried to scare me. And now when I was in the crib and I was just in my
Yeah.
room and every time I heard
In
like
the
I
crib?
remember when I was younger I would like hear that and I would just run out my room like screaming and crying and you guys just be laughing. Rude.
Do you remember that? Do you remember us doing that?
I'm not a
John?
bully, bro.
I don't remember that.
I swear you guys would do that. Or like so it was. I know you did that once in your life, Cody.
I probably did.
You've
Still,
done that
but,
at
like,
least.
Probably
but
Cody, you know.
I definitely
I just
did.
remember that I was terrified of like being in my room
Oh my
alone and then
goodness.
hearing like things or like you doing some shit to
Do,
fucking scare me.
do you remember that
Tweak me out.
time? I got you good. Do you remember that time I hacked into the computer's mouse?
Okay, yeah, that's
You
one
tell
of
that
the
story.
times.
From your
When we were,
POV.
I was with my cousin, and we were just chilling, playing some computer games because we were young. We were just, chilling, we're on the computer, and then all of a sudden some hack stuff, like some scary stuff, like I don't know, it was like some saw shit or something
You were
like that.
drawing something,
Or
right?
we were,
Yeah,
oh,
remember you were
it was
something.
drawing something, and then it started drawing by itself,
Oh.
and then
But
it started saying some scary ass shit. I remember we were tweaking, we were really tweaking, and we got
I
really
was
scared.
dying in the living room.
And then
oh my
this guy
God.
comes out because we started calling like what's it called, my aunt, and then calling everybody, freaking out, and then Cody's like, okay, I did it, okay.
No, yo, it was worse than that.
Yeah.
Yo,
This is
freaking
play too much.
they called me in and they're like, Cody, what's wrong with your computer? I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know what's wrong with it. So I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Because I'm actually controlling the
Oh,
mouse,
yeah.
and I wrote like, I want you guys dead, and
Wow.
these two freaked out. They started screaming, crying, and that's when I'm like, yo, it was me. Relax, relax. It was me.
Wow.
So Cody was a low key bully.
No, low key bully.
I was just having
He
fun.
wanted to have a sister to
Just
to
freaking
to
fuck
do
around.
things. Yeah, to make fun of her and
No,
mess with her.
I always protect my sister.
And maybe you wanted a
Yeah.
sidekick with me, try to influence me into doing your endeavors.
I influenced
Don't show me.
Jez. I tried to make Jez a little minion to do.
Bad influence.
Maybe.
Oh my goodness. No, it's making me sound bad. I always, even though I would mess around with Brittany, I always protect her
Yes.
Yeah.
and look out for her.
Like a
but-
second dad, yes.
Yeah, literally like a second
Second
dad,
dad,
to be
yeah.
honest.
I know that Cody's been doing a lot of things on the side too. You know, you try to handle like a lot of her business because she's
He's my manager, yes.
she's working
Yeah.
with producers, like people like in the nighttime industry. So I'm sure you protect her still.
I read her
Yeah.
papers. Yeah,
Yeah, only person, only can only trust your blood.
yeah, exactly.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You only can trust your blood,
You
man.
can move wise.
Yeah, because
And in the industry, especially.
I do sign her papers and I do read them over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Make sure that.
big signings and stuff, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
when they come will be passed through me.
Yes.
So that's what's happening, man.
Yeah.
But Persuasion,
Persuasion.
she's a big
Mhm.
talent. So I mean, I'm not just saying that because she's my sister.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I can be harsh on some skepticism sometimes, but she's the real deal. She's been singing since she was young, guys. Like
Very young.
literally,
Like when I was like 6, like
yeah, like literally when I was like 13, 14, scared like shitless of like just talking in public. My sister was up there
Already doing that.
singing. Yeah, sister was up there singing.
I remember going to the Rising Star competition at
goodness.
Oh my
the
God, that
Canadian
was-
National Exhibition.
that was
Um,
time ago. I remember that.
That was time ago. There's been many more pageants too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Pageants, competitions, all that
Downtown.
little, all
Oh
the
my
singing stuff, like
goodness.
events,
Yeah.
all of that.
Those church halls and
Mhm.
you getting hit up
Banquet
for that.
halls, the outside events, all that shit. But that was, it was a fun experience as a kid. Just to-
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wondered if did you find it scary?
I definitely found it scary, like, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely will. Every time I performed, I was like, anxious. I probably like, a little anxious performing on stage because there's so many, like, there's people. I usually got more anxious when there was a small amount of people.
Really?
For
huh?
some reason, because I feel like when there was a big amount of people, I didn't have to worry about who I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was a small amount of people, you can see people's faces, and you just get like, when I was a kid and I used to like sing and I used to see people's faces, it would make me more like
Anxiety or
nervous.
something,
Yeah, more nervous because I'm like, oh, do they like how I'm singing? Do they like what I'm doing? It was like that. It was definitely kind of scary, but honestly, I learned from that, and it, obviously plays a part in now how I perform now and how I make my music and stuff.
No, that's especially when my mom used to like throw you into the fire.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Mom was definitely like the momager, of course. Well,
Oh
you
my
all know that.
goodness.
Yes, she was always like, what's it called? Every time she was the number one person who's make me like tell me to like help me out with to do events and all competitions and all that stuff and like lessons, singing lessons, dancing lessons, but. She was the one who put me in that in the first place and who actually got me so I can how I am today.
She was
and
your
make
OG
it-
manager.
OG manager, number
Oh
one
my
supporter.
Yeah.
You guys are so funny.
yeah.
It's so cool. Like I see your mom. I don't go on Facebook a lot, but I know she still posts like a bunch of
Facebook.
Yo.
a bunch of kids. When Brittany was still young and singing. And then she would post like a new song of her, like it'd be like a side by side comparison, like, oh my God, my Brittany, posting when she was like 8 years old, and now look at her, she's a beautiful 18-year-old with her first album,
Yeah.
coming up. So
Yeah, my mom's always on
She's
Facebook,
still there.
supporting me, promoting my music,
yeah,
a number one fan. And yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. My mom and dad are definitely like, and myself are like Bernie's
Yeah,
like
they're
number one
supportive.
supporters and fans
Very
and
important.
everything. So we were talking about the mom just throwing you in the fire, and we talked a little bit about fears that you had.
Mm.
So how do these fears turn into strengths? Because you definitely flourished. You never really, from me observing you at all these performances, you never seemed like you stifled when you were in front of people.
Yeah, well, I feel like I definitely like that. I learned a lot from it because there was a bunch of like going through all that as a young age. There's definitely a bunch of ups and downs from it. So you just learn from certain things, and like I said, it just plays a part in your life when you grow up. Because like when I was young, I was just doing covers of songs and stuff, and like singing and doing all that stuff. So it was really just like I didn't know what I want. I was just doing it because I liked it. I was just doing it for fun because it made me happy, made my mom happy. I was just doing that because I knew I was good at it, and everyone was telling me I should keep going with it. So I was like, I want to do it. And then I guess when you get older, you get really tired of it, like doing all that stuff because your parents want you to do it and stuff. You get kind of tired of it, and you just want to kind of like start doing your own thing. So I guess like I learned a lot from that because it's just like a bunch of performances and being in front of people. You have to have that confidence. You have to sometimes think fast for a lot of shit, and like you just learn a lot at a young age, like for like as in music and like in other stuff, like for like what's it called, in the industry of like fashion even, or like dancing. You just learn a bunch of that. Entertainment business. You learn a lot doing that because you have to like know how to get the audience like their attention and stuff. You just have to know and just
and even like working with a choreographer.
Yeah,
dancing too, right?
That too. After I was doing that when I was a youngin too, and I started doing that more in high school after I started what's it called? I was at performing arts school for a bit after all my pageant stuff when I was getting older in elementary. So I did performing arts school, did a little bit of that, and then after I went to high school, and I was doing just like dance mostly. Yeah. And then
Were you on the dance team?
I was on the dance team. I was on the dance team at my school. I went to an all-girls school. That's literally the only reason why I went to that school was because.
Oh, the dance team?
Dance team, because they're really good. They were really good, and because there was also I remember watching a video before I even went to like the open house, and it was like this dance team, and it was like I remember that year they won, so I was really like curious about like how they did their dance and how it looked, and I realized that they did the whole competition. Like we had this thing called dance off every year at my high school, and we had that held at our school. So it was like I thought it was really cool because our team was always the loudest when we got on. So it was like it's just a bunch of I just like the adrenaline of it, of dancing, and just dancing in general.
Yeah. A fun fact. She said she went to an all girls school. I went to an all boys school, and we're actually the brother sister school next to each other. There, it was only 2 blocks away on the same street.
Yeah, they were really close. They were close to each other, just down the street.
I wasn't in high school at the same time.
Yeah, no.
Cody's school was actually on the same street also.
Technically on the same street, just like further down.
Public school is down the street.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool that we all kept like in a same distance. Different schools, but
like had like the more of a connection. Catholic school as well.
It was like because it was down the street, it was close to each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly, man. But I don't know why that feels like it was so long ago.
It was long ago.
Yeah, it was long ago.
Bear time.
But yeah, so that's a lot of like experiences.
A lot of experiences. Like a lot of that I can't even think about just now.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of experience I went through my life, especially with revolving around music and entertainment.
I remember like when you would perform so often as a kid that like it seemed like every weekend you were doing something.
Yeah,
I remember like it spurred like for anybody that knows like what it's like to like be in music, especially when your mom is telling you stuff when you're younger. It can spur good moments. There's definitely a lot of misunderstandings.
And definitely a lot of misunderstandings
fights,
when you're younger and you get really tired easily. And I guess you just get tired.
Yeah.
Like especially me when I was young, I got tired of something really easily because I guess like me I don't like getting told what to do. So it's like when someone tells me what to do all the time, like a certain thing, I guess I'm just stubborn. So I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do that right now. So it just kind of pushes me away from it a little bit. But that happens with everything, even like when you're older. So it's just like, all about how like, your mindset, you just got to do what makes you happy and stuff. Yeah, I don't.
Okay, I see. Do you think of how would you be if I wasn't this type of big brother? Do you think if I wasn't like I can be a little bit hard on Bernie sometimes, and I have been, but not in a bad way. Like helping her when she helping her grow as a person, especially through the high school era, because she's a little bit difficult. Yeah. But it's okay. like people go through it.
Trouble.
I often wonder if Bernie would be a little bit different if I wasn't around. What do you think?
I think I'd definitely be different in a way. Like I just wouldn't have any like I just wouldn't be wise. Like, I just wouldn't know much about like I think that I wouldn't think before I do things. Like I don't know. I think I would just like be very like maybe like not how do we explain it? Maybe not mature how I am, like how I am now, and maybe I wouldn't be as aware. Like I think I would, the process of me like doing stuff like in life would be going slower, and like all the stuff that I'd be going through, I just probably wouldn't like, you know, I wouldn't take anything from it, because usually when I like, you know, make a mistake, I just like whatever, I just made a mistake, it's not my fault. But like, I guess Cody, every time I made an actual mistake, like more times he's like wouldn't allow that. He's like, you know, you gotta learn from that. You can't just like allow yourself to just like, you know, get away with that, because it's like, you know, this happens. Like sometimes I just don't know. I don't know when I'm right and wrong, and that just happens in life. When I was young, now I know because you know, he taught me actually. So it's like
she's still learning.
Still learning to this day. But yeah, no, for real. What you wasn't helping in my life, I'd probably be, I don't even know, a crack. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't be a crack, but I would be. I just wouldn't.
You wouldn't be a Toronto crack. No,
yeah, you would not be a Toronto crack. You're funny.
Yeah,
I know. I feel like you'd be a little bit more like. I just want Brittany to calm down sometimes and think stuff over and not freak out. That's all I really want.
Yeah.
And she's good with that, and she will make more mistakes, but that's just part of life.
Yeah.
And I'm always here. We're always here. Family's always
still
here to help
growing.
out.
You're still 18.
Still 18, right?
Still 18.
And you're still
I made mistakes when I was 18. We'll get into
Yeah.
that.
we all.
But at
we
least
all
like
did.
I'm like like, you know, I'm aware of stuff, like
Yeah.
like I feel like exactly I wouldn't be aware. That's what number one thing. I feel like I wouldn't be aware of things.
Aware and acknowledge.
Acknowledge like
it's very important.
the things that I'm doing wrong and the things I'm doing right. Yeah.
So, well, I said now hopping into like, getting older as in this conversation, you started doing your own thing. I remember like you were doing covers.
Yes.
And then you started doing your own thing. I remember we talked about it for a while. So now you can talk about how like what was it like doing your own thing, and then also coming up with a name.
So when I was doing my own thing, it took me a long while to like do my own thing. I think it took me like maybe a couple of heartbreaks for me to freaking in relationships to freaking get my music going, because it's just like I don't know. But I started in high school. I started writing my own music, but I always wanted to write my own music from like the jump. But I think that I just didn't have it didn't hit me yet. Like I didn't know yet that I can write. Like I didn't think I could write in high school at the beginning. I was just like, I can just sing and whatever, you know, stick to that. But once I got like more older, like in grade 11, grade 10, I started actually writing. And then people were telling me that I should, like in my high school, like my girls were like, you should actually start writing. Like you can probably make some banger tracks. And I'm like, you're right. So I started doing that after a while. Like one day I was just like, you know, I was in my room, I was rolling up. I was just like, okay, let me listen to a beat. I listened to a beat and I found a really nice beat. It was my first song. I think it was called song Dead to Me.
That was your first song?
That was my first song I ever made.
You ever made?
Yeah.
It wasn't released first though.
It wasn't released first on iTunes. It was on like SoundCloud and YouTube. My first one was like, it was like, what's it called? I remember it was super rough, but it was really nice. Like, I had to remake it too, actually. So that's probably why it wasn't first out.
Yeah.
I think my first song out on iTunes and Spotify was So Fine.
So Fine.
That was one of like my R&B tracks, but those were basically my first songs that I wrote.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I started writing that during like grade 11. And I put that out, and then all my friends heard it, and they were going crazy to it. They were bumping it in the cafeteria, and that's how I knew. I'm like, yeah, I gotta keep working on this. I gotta keep sticking to it because it's my thing. So, but yeah, that's how like I started like writing music and like all that, and it's still learning with that and stuff. And with the name though, I came up with the name. I was always, what's it called? The name it came Perswasian. First, it came from like, I think I was watching. I don't know if you guys heard the show before. Have you heard Bad Girls Club?
I heard of it, but
I have not.
I haven't watched it.
People who know what Bad Girls Club is.
You at least like just randomly like.
It's like
talk
a
about
reality
it to me,
show where a bunch of girls just are in a house and they party, turn up, and then they get into fights. Like it's just like it's just mad.
Sounds like Big Brother.
It's just it's kind of like Big Brother,
like Big Brother.
But it's just like it was just like kind of a show like where I was watching in grade 9, grade
drama,
like when I was in drama, like I was just like about that. Like I don't know, I was just watching that all the time because it's just fun and just like I remember seeing this one girl named Perswasian. But it was spelled in a different way. Oh. And I really liked her personality because she was just like, I don't know, she was very like a blunt person. She had like, I don't know, she was just like, she was tough. She was just like, she was always what's it called? She was confident and stuff. And I really liked how she was just like, you know, I don't know, I just fucked with her. So I just like the name Perswasian. And one day I went to school and I was talking to my friend about it. And I'm like, what do you think about persuasion? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, but I'm also thinking of something like maybe like Wasian doll. But I'm like, there's too much dolls in like the industry.
Yeah, no more dolls.
That's why I'm like, So it's
You're not
between
fake.
Wasian doll.
Yeah,
I told
you're
one
not
of my,
fake.
I told one of my girls.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah.
But I told one of my girls, her name was, I know her name, Sophie. She was, what's it called? I was talking to her about, okay, so it's between persuasion, not the way it was spelled. It wasn't the way it was spelled before, like Wasian.
Mhm.
It was, I would say it's between that or it's between Wasian doll. And she's like, why don't you just do persuasion as the name, like, spell it as Wasian?
Mhm.
Because you're Wasian, because I'm half Filipino, half white. If you guys don't know my ethnicity, we're half Filipino, half white. And
There you go.
yeah,
There we go.
but that's why it's spelled that way, a certain way, like Wasian, because persuasion, cash sign, Wasian. And the reason, like Wasian, I always was like, when people saw me, like, and when I was like growing up and stuff in like high school and elementary, people always asked me what my ethnicities was, and we don't look Filipino apparently. So like we always would get like, oh no way, like what's it called? You're like I thought you were Latina or like Latino or
That's a
something like that.
common one,
That was
yeah.
common, but like. Yeah. So when they
Latin-
figured out I was like, half Filipino, half white, they'd be like, oh, you're Wasian. You don't look Wasian though. Like I don't know. I was just like, that's how I figured out with persuasion.
Mhm.
Right.
Here.
That's quite the story.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah,
Like,
Quite the
I
story.
heard it from
I
Cody, but I did not hear it from
I didn't know that.
Brady.
Yeah, I didn't know
So,
it was like I know
It
I
was more
That's
than- it was more-
that's deep behind the whole
that
thing,
was
like
deeper,
why,
yeah.
like how it came together, like.
So a lot happened, like
inspired
those
it.
cafeterias with your girls,
Yes,
like hyping you
lot.
up, building your self confidence.
Yes, no, for real, they had a lot to do with that as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
Do you want to give any shout outs to your friends?
Yeah.
To help you out?
Shout out to Wancho. Shout out to the real ones. Shout out to Valeria, my go-to dancers, Maya, Betchy. You already know what's up. You already know what's good.
I already know.
And y'all know who you are, the real ones. Y'all know.
Yeah. So, Persuasion. Do you have any role models or inspirations that you look up to in the music industry? Anybody?
I do. I have a bunch at the moment. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my top 3. So my top 3 right
Top
now
three, top
at
three,
the
top
moment. What's it called? I have like 2 that are tied. So
Yeah.
I think my third top 3 would be
Your third?
my third one would be
Yeah.
it would be in the top 3. It would be Tory Lanez
Mhm.
and Honey Cocaine.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Honey Cocaine, what's it called? Not many people know her, but she doesn't make music that much anymore. But she was I used to listen to her a lot. Like she's a rapper in Toronto. Same with Tory. So that's one of my reasons why I look at them as inspiration, because they come from my own city and because those was their music I was listening to like a bunch when I was in grade 8, grade 9. So a lot of my inspiration comes from that, especially from Tory, because I really like his melodic rap. I like the way he switched up the flow with rap and like R&B. And Honey Cocaine, I like her bars. She always come in with real bars, and she's super underrated and she's just different. But and my second one, for my top 3 would be Kalani and Jenny Aiko, because those what's it called? I think those were the 2 artists where I was like going when I was listening to music through my high school years, and I was listening to them bare like bunch of R&B music, and I really like both of their music because it's kind of like, in a way, the music is kind of therapeutic, and they just have a lot of, I like their lyrics and the way like their aesthetic, especially with Kalani. She has tattoos. I'm really into tattoos like that, and but yeah, tattoos
Like the ones we have
like the
here?
ones we have
Yeah,
here.
I noticed
Yeah.
that earlier.
We have matching ones
Right.
just now. It
Yeah.
has
This one was my first tattoo, and then but that wasn't this one on your wrist, which is the same as mine. It's not wasn't your first?
it wasn't my first one. This was my first one. My
And,
line one.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first one.
Whoa.
Whoa. But this one, this goes around our wrists. Is our family's birth dates.
Yep.
Mine, Cody's, 8.
Mine.
Just has the wrist, the nice looking wrist.
The
Oh,
invisible,
the
invisible
like
one.
that.
He-
Coming
He has a
through.
blank canvas
Canvas.
ready for tattoos.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so yeah, we have the birthdays here. Just in case any of us forget our birthdays, we can just be like,
Yeah. Everyone actually says this is my hardest tattoo.
your hardest tattoo.
Yeah, like
to
the
do?
best, my best.
Oh, your
Best one.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, fun fact, I drew this tattoo.
Yeah,
on
he
mine.
did. So
I
this
drew
is
it
really
myself.
it's a really unique one. I really like
I drew
meaningful
that one
tattoos.
Oh.
But yeah, that's what Kalani comes from
back
that.
to Kalani.
Comes
Yeah.
from like for the tattoos and like all that inspiration from like music, and like she's a dancer as well, and I'm a dancer. I really look up to her for that. Same with Jenny Aiko. Like she does a lot of like her music is really therapeutic to me, and it's like in the choosing of her beats and all that. Like they're both very like talented and unique. And my top first favorite inspirational for me artists in my top 3 would be Beyonce. because
Queen
Queen.
Bee.
Queen Bee. Of course. I've always loved her since I was like, a kid, and always looked up to her, and like how she entertained and how she performed on stage was something I really looked up to and always would watch. And I put that like some of like that her inspired from her into my work. And I like when I was like when I was performing on stage and doing a bunch of that stuff when I was younger, or even till now, I really look at her like how the way she performs and how she does it, because it's just something that like it's like when I look at it, and like sometimes when I watch her videos when she's performing, I'm like, it's too much for me because she's that good. So it's like I want to give that type of feeling for other people in a way, like in my own way, because Beyonce for the fucking
For the number
for
one.
number one.
Number one.
But yeah, no, she's
Can't
my
argue with
favorite.
that.
Yeah,
Is there a couple
talented as fuck.
couple OG ones like
OG ones definitely.
80s, 90s?
Yeah, like old school ones. Too.
Definitely like what's it called? Whitney Houston. Like I said, what's it called? I did a lot of like music. What's it called? Not R&B, but it was like powerful R&B. So soul
voice.
R&B. It's some music I did back covers when I was younger. So I really liked Whitney Houston. What's it called? I liked Christina Aguilera.
Aguilera, yeah.
And what's it called? And like say for rap, I listened to like Biggie, like Tupac, of course. The original OGs.
Tupac for life, baby.
But yeah, and bunch more that I can't even think of right now. I listen to like my music, my playlist very diverse from like back then to like generation now. Yeah.
So it's a good mix. The music, right?
It's good to have diversity. When you're listening to music.
Oh yeah.
You can build off like some parts from the 80s or some parts from the 2000s.
Yeah.
And you grow from that, making your own music.
Definitely, yeah.
She has a little bit of Shania Twain in there.
Shania Twain, don't expose me. Don't expose me.
Don't worry.
Yeah, why not?
No. Shania Twain's hard because my mom put me on. That was like one of the first artists.
She's hard.
One of the first
still.
musicians. One of the first musicians I actually ever listened to, and I can't even lie. I have like a couple of her songs on my playlist still.
Me too. I'm not even gonna lie.
Because she just like she kind of like
kind of reminds me of childhood.
It kind of reminds me of childhood, and it's just
my
like
mom be listening to her.
real shit.
Yeah. Filipino parents.
Filipino parents.
Filipino parents. Anak Shania Twain.
Shania Twain.
I used to sleep to her songs, or
Really?
my parents used to play all of her albums, and that would be a
you
song
just
I
be
would.
playing.
remember?
It'll just be playing like while you're going.
Do you remember
Yeah,
what
while I'm
song it
going to
was?
sleep. I was like, when I was like 4.
Do you remember what song it was?
She has
I actually
pretty
don't.
much all her songs, man.
Yeah.
I know the one
You're
where
the one
it's
that
like,
goes, "No one needs to know."
you know that one?
now."
Stop. No, I like the one where it's man. I feel like a woman. That one gets me freaking geeked.
That's like her like I think it's
One
her
of her top
most
ones.
like one of her
I feel
top
like a
ones for
baddie
sure.
when I listen to that music.
The one
to be
I just
honest.
kind of sung terribly, but the one I sung terribly is like one of her more OG songs.
Yeah.
I just remember that song, that specific one. I guess we'll put the name here if we actually find the song out. Just because my mom used to play her that music video all the time.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember that
There's
most
like
of
a
my
freaking truck, a tornado.
those
or
are the
something.
my beginning memories was like listening to like seeing those music videos and just listening to that all day.
Like OG much music.
Yeah, it was one of them
Yeah.
ones. Those ones.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
So that's coming from like old artists, right? So if there's any like say younger artists like right now or
Right now.
starting to come
Any
up,
up and comings, yeah.
Up and coming right
Yeah.
now, there's a bunch, yo. What's it called? I feel like right now I've been listening to a lot of I've actually been listening to a lot of Nicki Minaj, but she's been there.
she's been
Queen
yeah.
of rap. I've been listening to her like a lot recently. But besides her, a lot of upcoming artists. Like I've been listening to a lot of female rap and like
Nicki or Cardi B.
female Nicki all the way, all the
Duh.
time. That's the queen. Like
It's not even a
I don't.
question.
Yeah, it's not even a question.
Jezra, you wanna
Nicki, man.
Okay, he knows.
Boom. No.
Young
oh,
Money.
Oh,
Young
Cardi.
Money, Cash
Money.
No. Oh, Cardi.
Nah. No, I
Young
feel
Money,
like,
Cash Money, Playboy.
I still like Cardi, but she's not a rapper like that.
No.
Because it's just like that's how it is. Because Nicki writes all of her shit,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying Cardi doesn't, but Nicki is just that bitch.
Facts.
Like, but yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jesse, you have any more questions for persuasions?
It's maybe I guess like you're still pretty young. You're
Mhm.
18, turning 19, not 19.
I'm turning 19. Yeah.
You're turning 19. So
Turning 19.
if there's
Oh,
a message
19,
that
baby.
you would like to send out to even younger artists that you like to tell them and how you can start making music?
Yeah.
The Utes.
The the
The
youth.
youth
God.
of the youths. You're a youth, so they're your youths.
Yeah, or like to anybody, you know, you don't
Yeah.
have to be
Anybody,
younger,
anybody.
you know, because there's a lot of artists that start off pretty late,
Yeah.
in their late 20s, and
Yeah,
then now
no.
they're successful. But
No, for real. Like I feel like
it could be anybody,
Yeah.
right?
The
Anybody.
worst time to Yeah, I was gonna say something inspirational, but I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something along the lines of like the worst time to not start is to never do. You know, just start. If you
Yeah,
if you
just
want to do
start.
it, do
Just
it.
start that shit. Just start.
Damn, I'm trying to be too freaking poetic.
But here, I have another message. This is what I had to think a little bit. What's it called? My message is what's it called? My big message is that you should what's it called? Always be
Yep.
what's it called? You know, if you're on like one of my thing, like I used to have like a lot of anxiety with being on my own and just like trying to like, you know, be what's it called? I wouldn't want to be, you know, I want to like really blend in, you know, be like people like, you know, I don't want to feel like no outcast and stuff, but what's most importantly is that you stand like, you know, be true to yourself and like, you know, no matter what, you know, just be yourself and like it doesn't matter how like people, you know, the bad energy people brings around you. You just always gotta, you know, have a positive mindset and solutions. And yeah, that's my message.
There you go. That's a very strong message.
Right.
Very strong. I guess like we'll wrap her up here. So we'll go over what Perswasian has for goals and what's next to come.
What's next to come?
Yeah, what you got coming up?
Okay, so my goals and next to come up is I just finished doing a couple music videos and from my old album, my first album, Overthinking. I just finished doing a couple videos for that, and my next projects are just, you know, dropping the songs I have that are in the vault just now, and just working on more, like releasing more music, and you know, having more content for, you know, my audience, and you know, keep working and hustling and being in my
Keep
bag.
On
Yeah.
hustling.
Bye.
Don't stop. Chase what's mine.
I wish I can join in, man. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's Keep on Hustling by Warren G.
Okay.
Nate Dogg. That's some old stuff. I'm old.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
the older head of our group.
I'm not that old, man. Made me sound like I'm 30.
Yeah. Guys, we want to give a lot of love. Shout out to Perswasian over here. If you guys check her out, her
Love you, sister.
her Spotify, her Instagram, her iTunes, everything. Check out her music.
Yeah, you better
Definitely more to come.
follow her on Spotify
Yes, please.
And you know, I'm on iTunes,
and iTunes too.
YouTube,
I use
Everything.
Spotify, so I was
SoundCloud, all
emphasis
that, all
Yeah.
platforms.
If you want the heat and what's in that little the vault,
Yeah. And my IG's persuasion.w, you know, go follow that, go check that out. So.
All right. So yeah, that's gonna be wrap up our show.
yep.
We're gonna start with another part. So it's gonna be a sports podcast next. Cody, what's to come?
Well, if you stay tuned for part 2, we're gonna talk a little bit about the NBA draft. Raptors are picking fourth. A little bit baseball, basketball. Stay tuned. It's gonna be a good one.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Jezreel.
I'm Cody.
And it's Persuasion. And we out.
And we out.
We out.
We
Thank
out.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Dream about a girl that you sleep on. I've been on my ones, baby. I ain't got no